I just realized that it's been a pretty long time since I last made a custom content video here on my channel, and I found a new CC set that I think you are going to love. In fact, I think this might be the biggest CC set that I've ever made a video on, and maybe even the biggest set that I've ever even downloaded. It comes in 4 parts, and I counted in total, it's got 193 items. Here I am getting excited about like some SDX drop with like 2 recolors of a t-shirt. Meanwhile, these modders are making giant sets with like 200 items. So this is the Domaine to Clos set from PieriSim. This is supposed to be sort of like a French countryside vineyard inspired set. And so in it, he's tried to make a bunch of items to build a vacation home. So this first set is kind of the exterior. This one has 86 new build pieces. And then in the second set, we kind of start the interior. So it's got some stuff for the entrance of the home and kind of like some living room furniture and stuff. The third set is for the bedroom and bathroom. And then this fourth last set is for the kitchen. So in total, there's like a ton of stuff in this set. Literally something for every single room, including the exterior. So I don't even really know where to begin. Like, do I download it all at once and just kind of jump in, or should I go by set? I think I might just throw all of it into my game at once. Drop these into my mods folder and we will get the game open. While my game is loading, I want to really quickly give a huge shout out to PieriSim. I mean, this whole video is basically a shout out to him, but I'm gonna have all the download links, his Patreon, his CurseForge page, his Twitter, like everything linked down below. So if you'd like to grab it for yourself, you can check down there. I've also made some videos in the past on his other CC, so I can link those for you too. So let's just load into a big empty lot, I guess, and start checking everything out because we have a lot to look at. I think I'll probably start with the exterior stuff. We can look through all the windows and doors and things because we've got kind of a lot of options. This is the fun part of CC sets because they give you so many variants of windows. We've got like every size and shape imaginable here, which makes it so much easier to build because these things will fit on like any size wall. Like seriously, we have every size arch you can possibly think of. Oh my gosh, and we've got so many colors. There's a lot of like plain swatches like the white and the wood tones, but also some kind of fun ones that are painted colors. I kind of like that. Like these light yellow ones, how cute is that? I need to make this wall bigger. I'm out of space already. There's so many sizes. Like there's literally every size. And then we also have a bunch of different variants of like smaller square windows, also in like pretty much every single size. And then of course they all come in the same swatches. I really like the texture on those, that like simple wood texture. I like the shape a lot too, like how a lot of these are big and wide. These are really, really nice. The set also comes with a ton of shutters and they're like separate pieces, so you can place them separately and then change the color separately. This makes it so versatile. You could even use that probably on some base game windows if you wanted to. And of course there's like a million different sizes to fit all the windows, and they've got all those same swatches as well. This is my first time downloading this. I haven't actually checked it out in game yet. I've seen a few screenshots and like read the post obviously, but I am having so much fun with this. We even have these trims. This is something I was really excited for because we basically have these trim pieces and a ton of different brick swatches that you can place around the outside of the window, which again makes it so customizable because you can kind of mix and match the color schemes a little. And of course we have one of these for every single window shape, so they'll fit on all of them. And then we also have these brick corner pieces. So I assume that you can put this like on the corner of a building and then custom place all of the pieces. Okay, well I placed it wrong. I need to put it higher up. Hang on, it's overlapping down there. And then you can change the color of this to anything as well. And then we also have these trim places that you can piece. These trim pieces that you can place. So with that, you can sort of fit them in anywhere. There's even like an inner corner piece that you can use, so you can fit this around any wall. So you know how a few wallpapers in the game have a trim already on them? On a regular wall, it's just plain, but when it detects a corner, it puts like the decor piece there. The problem is this doesn't always work, especially when it's like a smaller wall. So you can see I've put a bump out here, but it didn't put the trim on it. It only does it on these 2 wide corners for some reason. I really struggle to understand why it does this, but the default placement of the EA ones is really annoying. So that's what these little pieces are for, basically so you can make your own custom one and not have to worry about the auto placement. And then it's also 3D instead of just being painted on like these are. So here's kind of an example of how you might use it. Then we could get like a really nice big window, put the arch around it, match the brick. Look at how beautiful that is. And I didn't even use these pieces for it. This is so nice. You can do so much with this. Well, we have a few wallpapers. We've got this brick one that comes in a ton of swatches. I really like that sort of distressed red one. We've got black, we've got green. There's a few different beige and brown tones, a few shades of red. This is so good. I really like the slight distressing on those. I think that these like brownish red ones are my favorites. Although I won't lie, I never really thought about green brick before, and that looks really nice. It's so fun to have so many options. This is like the beauty of CC, is there's just so many variants. I'm getting a bit ahead of myself here, but there's also a few interior wallpapers. We have this beautiful paneled wallpaper one. We have a full wallpaper one. We have a full plain one. And we also have a plain paneled one. So you kind of have like every variant you might need. I really like the green trim on this. I feel like that's so beautiful. And there's so many color options. Are you kidding? That sort of like olivey green is one of my favorite colors. I know it's like really trendy in interiors right now, but for good reason, because it is really pretty. I like how there's a few like reddish tones too. Like this looks so good. We've got regular wood. We're back to the green. There's some white paneling. There's some more like creamy brown paneling. This blue one is really nice. Oh my god. And I assume that all of the other wallpapers come in the same swatches. So like this one, for example, is all the same colors. It just doesn't have the paneling at the bottom. Oh, this plain one has so many swatches because we've got a bunch of wall colors and a bunch of trim colors to match. So you literally have like every variant you might want. There's like plain white with different colored trim. There's like the brown with different colored trim. There's all these greens and blues. That's so good. And then I assume this one also is the same with a lot of different swatches. I really like this paneling. I feel like we so desperately need more paneling in The Sims. More like plain swatches too. Like these two wallpapers fill such a void in the game. Obviously it's fun to have wallpaper and it's nice to have more variants, but like I would be so happy if the Sims team added like a few more swatches to the base game wallpapers, because it's so nice to have so many options, especially when they're like sort of neutrally. Obviously there's some color to this, but I almost think this dark green is like kind of a neutral. So you can use this in so many houses. It's just really versatile, and for that reason it's so useful. Oh my god. Okay, I'm taking too long. We have so many things to look at. We even have roofs. We have these two different shades of roof. Oh, look at how nice that is. I've never thought about a pattern on the roof like that, but that looks so good. And there's like every variant imaginable. You know what? I feel like roof colors are one of our most lacking categories in The Sims 4. This is so nice. So we have that patterned one, and then we also have this plain one that has the same swatches, just minus the diamonds. I really like how it comes in some colors, but also a lot of neutrals. Like that green is so pretty. I think I've covered everything for the exterior. So let's move on to the inside. I feel like it is Christmas morning and I'm getting a bunch of presents right now. Like I'm having so much fun. So when we go and filter by custom content, this is all of the stuff and there is so much of it. These are kind of out of order with the different sets, obviously, but we'll just go through it all. I think I'll start with the beds because this is like the most fun part for me. So a lot of times CC sets will come with beds like this. Basically the bed frame and the bed mattress separate. Again, because it lets you customize things, kind of like how the windows worked. So we have 4 different bed frames. We've got 2 single beds and 2 double beds, but then we also have the mattress separate and you can just add it into those beds and it still functions. But this way I can change the color of the bed frame to like any wood that I want. And then I can change the mattress to any pattern that I want separately. Also, these colors are great, but these little patterns are so cute. I love this green and blue one. And these like smaller checks. Oh my god, the blue. This might be my favorite CC bed I've ever seen. Like the bed frame, the mattress, the like the really beautiful skirt on the bed. That is so pretty. We've got a little metal bed frame too. That comes in a ton of colors. Oh, look at the combo with the white and the brown. Oh, I really like that. And then of course these double beds are the same. We've got all the same bed frame swatches, but also all the same mattress swatches. These are so beautiful. I really think these might be some of my favorite CC beds ever. I really like this pattern. That is so cute. There's also a ton of chairs in this set. It looks like we've got a bunch of sizes of couch and everything. So we have these kind of comfy couches and all of these beautiful, more neutral swatches. I really like that one. That is so nice. And then we have like every shade of green you might ever want, all these pretty blue colors. Oh my god, we have these patterns as well. Look at the stripe. I feel like this is so perfectly what you would find in a house like this sort of bed and breakfast vibe. So this chair has some kind of plain swatches with different wood options on it. And then we've got a similar chair, but this one has like a bunch more pattern options and also a few more plain colors too. Then we have a bar stool as well. Same thing, ton of wood options and a few of those same pretty swatches. I'm getting like overwhelmed in a good way looking at all these items. I think I'll do the kitchen last because there's a bunch of pieces, like even backsplash pieces. So I'm gonna save the best for last there. And we'll look at some of these tables. So we've got a really small wooden table, a wider table, and an even wider table. I really love that sort of like rustic wood tone on it. That's so nice. And then with the white legs, oh my gosh, this is so pretty. I feel like this is almost exactly my style in The Sims as well, which is so fun. I just really like this. It's making me want to build like a beautiful little cottage again. We also have a side table. We have a few different shapes of coffee table. Oh my God. Another little accent table. Look at how nice this little side table is. And this really fancy round one. And then these coffee tables. I like how there's so many size variants too, because this will fit in like any living room. I really like the detailing on the legs. Even like the bottom has accent pieces on it, which is amazing. We also have a desk with those same swatches. We also have this decorative fireplace and a ton of swatches. There's a few like stone ones and also some that have a wooden mantle. I should probably come back to this sink once I've placed a counter, but we have a little sink. We've got a little bathtub. This one has a ton of swatches too, so you can get like any metal you want on the fixtures. It even comes in some kind of cool colors. Oh, we also have the fireplace that isn't decorative. We have like the functional fireplace as well. It's the same thing, but it has the fire in it. Okay, we also have some decor. We've got a few different flower vases, and I always say that the flowers and plants are like my favorite parts of custom content packs, but I love having more flowers. Plus, look at how pretty these are. We have like a plain glass vase with a bunch of different colored flowers. We have this little variant with a white vase and a ton of flower colors. And then we have this version that has a glass vase instead, same flowers but different vase. This one has some huge flowers and a bunch of different pretty colors. I really like having these big plants like this because that's so nice for like a giant center table on a table like this. And then we have this little fern item with a bunch of different vase colors. I think this one is my favorite, but I really like all these plants. I just love flowers in The Sims. And then we've got a ton of different paintings. So you can see there's two variants of the same one. That's because this one is for hanging on the wall and this one is for like resting on something. So I don't know if you can tell, but it like sort of leans up against the wall. So we've got a couple variants of all the paintings, and all the paintings have different variants in them as well. There's like a bunch of different pictures and frame options. Look at all of these. I love CC art. Having custom content art pieces is so fun because there's so many options. I really, really like this. Plus there's so many size variants too, and you could like so easily try and create a gallery wall out of these because they all sort of blend together well, but the frames are like slightly different. I don't know. This is really good. Oh my goodness. We also have 3 different mirror heights. So we've got like a mirror for every single wall size and every single purpose you might need. And the fun part of CC mirrors is you can like move them around anywhere on the wall. For some reason, the mirrors that come in the game can't be lowered. You can raise them, but you can't lower them. But with custom content, you can do whatever. So I could use this as like a floor mirror if I wanted to, or I could like put it up on top of a sink on a tall wall. Oh my God. Now we have curtains. Okay, so there's a few different variants of the curtains. We have them for every single wall size. I really like how they're like swept to the corners. I think that's so pretty. I haven't seen that done yet, and I think I really like it. And then of course these curtains have like a ton of different swatches, a lot of the same swatches that like the whole set has. So everything kind of matches and goes well together. I really, really like the greens. I can't get over the greens. But we also have a few different curtain rod pieces. So we've got like 2 different end pieces and the middle piece. And this matches all the curtains, and you can use that basically to just make the curtains as wide as you need them to be. I am so glad that people are doing this now. It just makes the curtains so much nicer. And then you can fit them to like any size window basically because it's kind of modular. Doesn't that just look so beautiful? I am having so much fun right now. I hope that you guys like this kind of video because I could just sit here gushing about custom content all day. We've got a few other decor pieces to go through though. We have this same pot that had the plant in it, just minus the plant. We've also got like a little open book. I think this is meant to be like a guest book. Oh, it's an account book. Oh my gosh. So it's got a few swatches like that, but it also has some like coffee table book type swatches. I can't believe how many variants there are. We have this little tiny candle holder as well, and a separate candle that you can place in it, because that way you can change the color of the candle holder and the color of the candlestick separately. Wait, we also have a little backpack. Look at that, and it's got such cute swatches. I love little clutter items. We even have this little bell for the desk. Wait, there's a suitcase too? And it comes in such pretty colors. Look at the blue one. Oh my God, and a duffel bag and another version of the suitcase. Wait, I have never really considered luggage in The Sims as like a decor item that I wanted, but this is so fun. I genuinely hadn't even thought of that, but what a cute little detail for this building. We also have this little basket item. It comes in a few cute colors. I'm going like all over the place, but we also have these books, and these books are meant to slot in the empty fireplace. So we have like the functional version that has the fire, or you could like decorate your own, or or you could put books in it. This was in some of the preview screenshots that I was looking at, and I thought it looked so cool. I love the idea of making like a cozy cottage with something like this, especially because so often in real life, people still have a fireplace, but it's like just not functional anymore for whatever reason. Maybe the chimney's messed up, so you can't actually light a fire in it. So you fill it with books instead, or like candles or something. I don't know. It's cool. Speaking of candles, we've got a couple candlestick options and a lamp. I love candlesticks like this. I love the idea of pairing a couple different variants too. Like having these 3 different candle heights together, I think looks so good. This is sort of a plain lamp with like maybe a stone base or something, really useful. And then we also have a wall sconce. I like how it has the swing arm like that. I saw a lot of these because I spent a lot of time looking at lights when I was renovating my house, like way too much time. And I saw a lot of lights like this and I really like them. We've got a wall sconce like that. Oh my gosh, this would be so cool, like above a nightstand or something. And then we've got a couple different variants of ceiling lights, obviously at all the different heights. I love the metal there. You could get like a copper one almost. That's kind of cool. Okay, we have this little room divider also in like so many beautiful swatches. I love the stripes. I'm kind of trying to save all the kitchen stuff until we look at the kitchens, but I'm like scrolling back and forth. Okay, we also have this like wooden wardrobe. It even comes in some pretty colors like purple, but it obviously has all the plain wood colors too. I really love the detail on that. Like even the detail in the carvings in the wood and like on the little handles and stuff. Speaking of handles and keys, we have a little key holder for all of the rooms. They even have like little numbers on them for each of the rooms. That is so cute. I want to build a hotel. I want hotels in The Sims so bad. That is so pretty. We also have this trellis item. Obviously comes in the same colors, but it's got a couple different variants of things that you can place on it. So there's like some flowers that you can place over the top and change the color of, or you could use this cool like roof to it. I love how those flowers look. They're even like growing on the underside. How much detail? Can you just imagine how much time was put into like designing this and making all these items? All right, but I kind of saved the best for last here because we're gonna look at all the counters next. As you can see, we have a very wide variety of counters, and we also have some upper cabinets. All of the counters are gonna have the same swatches and they have the same countertops and stuff, but the cabinets look different so that you can kind of mix and match them a little bit. So for example, you might have the sink on this counter. You might choose to do like drawers on the far side. Oh, look what the corner piece looks like. That's so pretty. There's so many variants of this. We obviously have the island counter too, and that comes in a few different variants. I really like how that end piece looks. There is also a ton of different swatches, and the different swatches have like a bunch of different countertop options. So there's a few stone countertops. There's a bunch of different wood countertops. I don't even know where to begin because there's so many options. And then obviously the upper cabinets will come in matching swatches for all of those. Slightly fewer variants because obviously you don't need to have like, you know, 10 different countertop swatches with the cabinets. And then obviously the upper cabinets will come in all those same colors and stuff. CC kitchens are like my favorite thing in the entire world. And this one has a custom backsplash. I've seen this done before, but I haven't actually used it myself. So basically it has a ton of different pieces that you can place, and then you can pick the swatch separately. And then it has like some dimension to it, how it comes off the wall a little bit like it would in real life. We also have like a million different kitchen shelf options in like every size. So you could like wrap the shelf around the corner even if you wanted to. And then there's a few different chopping boards with like different vegetables on them. So we have this tomato one with some different wood swatches. Look at how cute that is. I've never thought about something like that as a decor item, but that looks so good. We even have these figs on a fancy plate, and then a ton of different pot shapes. We have like every size you could possibly imagine in like every color. Look at those. I'm obsessed. I love, love, love the style of this set. I've been recording this for an hour just going through everything, so hopefully the video isn't ridiculously long. I think I'm probably gonna cut it off right here though, and I'm gonna link everything down below if you want to go download it for yourself. I think 3 out of the 4 sets are out publicly right now, but the kitchen set is for early access on Patreon, but it should come out for public release pretty soon. I just love downloading CC. It feels like Christmas morning going through all my new little presents. It makes me really, really happy, so I hope that you like it too. If you like videos like this, I've done quite a few, so I can link a playlist for you. Hopefully you can find some kind of cool new stuff there. And on that note, I will stop gushing over Sims mods, and I'll stop this video right here. Thank you for watching. Have the best rest of your day, and I'm gonna catch you all tomorrow, okay? Bye, everybody. I'm curious to hear in the comments what your favorite item was. I'm thinking the bed, the plants, and maybe those photos. Oh, and the fireplace. I don't know. It's all so pretty.